Well, hello. Thank you for having me. Just going to make a few little house rules about myself. That if you see me waving at you, I'm probably not waving at you. I tend to talk with my hands a lot and they go up and like this, so it's okay. You can wave back because at least I know you'll be listening to me. And I will probably swear at least once or twice and I won't even realise it, so please don't be offended. So as the slide suggests, I'm a music photographer, and I'm really lucky to be able to just be based in the music industry. That's something that I'm very passionate about. So I grew up in regional Victoria. I lived in Woomalang for a little bit, in Crong Vale and Seymour. So I've always been a creative person, but growing up, I had no idea what I wanted to do. It was I did fall in love with music when I was in high school, and I loved playing it and I loved listening to it, and it was pretty much everything. So during high school, I just had no ambitions. All I knew that I wanted to do was finish high school, earn some money so I could go and continue listening to music. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is some of my work, but also some of the journey that I undertook to basically get me to being a music photographer, because that's not where I started out. And you know, I've done a few different jobs to get me where I am today. So as I said, I never grew up wanting to be a photographer. Wherever the path you're going, don't get hung up on if you're not doing your dream job just yet, if you're not doing, anything creative at all. You're going to learn skills that are going to help you get there. So look at the person sitting next to you, people you're going to school with. These are the people that you potentially, might be working together in the future on creative jobs. And just speaking with some of the people out in the foyer before, some of the amazing designers and creative people that have come from regional areas, it blows my mind. I would have never have thought of, some of these people that go on to be some of the best in their field in the world that come from regional areas. So, and again, I'll keep going through these quickly, but you don't just get up on stage with a guy and get access like that. It's about the trust and the relationships you build with people. So you need to start somewhere, and you need to, basically, it's all about relationships. That's life really. It's about the relationships and trust. And, the more that you work with people and the more that, you basically collaborate, the better you can create your art. And, to be getting up on stage, I'm pretty much almost in front of the drum kit, and there's people that can do that and do it subtly and also, basically have the respect and gain the trust of the artist to do that. Moments. If you had to ask me what one of my favourite photos was from working with Soundwave, this would be it. And again, it's not all about the artist, it's also capturing atmosphere. This is Soundwave just before they're about to open the doors. And Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. Yes, they're still around. And so Soundwave Festival, that's Soundwave Festival in Perth. So I fell in love with shooting the live music. I was doing that shitty corporate job. It was a great corporate job, but it wasn't creative. And so I pretty much decided, after doing all that travelling, falling in love with taking photos, I thought, I'm going to go back to uni. So I pretty much sold my house, and I was 28 at this stage. So it's kind of a really scary thing to go, I'm sort of already starting to set myself up for, being an adult, because I still don't feel like an adult, but and I felt like I was growing up. And I thought, no, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. If I don't at least try to do this, I'm going to regret it. So I sold everything. I sold my house. I went back to study. And I didn't even go back to study to try and be a music photographer. Again, this is the whole struggle that I've always had between creative and, being an adult. You don't always get to do what you want. So I thought, I'll go back and study and shoot maybe interior design or architecture or something like that, because I was like, who would want to shoot that? That sounds really boring. But I thought maybe you could make money from it. And I was totally wrong. There's a lot of people that like to shoot that stuff. And while I was at uni, trying to shoot interiors, I had a lecturer who was looking at my stuff and he's like, this is shit. And for some reason I had some of my music photos there, and he's like, oh, what are these? And I showed it to him and he's like, you know what? I would never say this to anyone, but these are actually really good. You should quit right now and move to America. And I'm like, all right, well, I probably won't do that, but maybe I'll shoot some more of this music stuff. And he said, you should not shoot interiors at all, ever, again. But I encourage you to shoot people because, there's something about your photos, you have a rapport with people, and I think this is the direction you should go. So, actually, just on a side note, again, after talking with some of the people that are teaching here, it's amazing, I never really thought about that as a pivotal point, but from that lecturer telling me in a certain direction that I should go, I may have kept on struggling. If he had have just said, look, there's going to be no money in music photography, just keep going at this and you'll get there, I may have never sort of diverged on the path where I'm at. So you should definitely listen to people when they're giving you encouragement. And if they believe in you, then you have to believe in yourself. So Dave Grohl, this would be, when people talk about, you get to shoot music and it must be so amazing meeting all these artists. Most of the time I'm sort of, I think about it as a job and I'm trying to create the imagery and their clients. So I don't really think about it too much on a personal level, but if you're going to ask me who's my favourite person to photograph ever, I'm going to say Dave Grohl just because I'm a massive Foo Fighters fan. This is my second underwater shoot with the Amity Affliction. And I've been working with these guys for years, and it's that relationship that allows me to basically maybe try something a little bit different, and they kind of trust me when it comes to some of these photos. So again, people in bands, very unfit. All this had to be shot separately. I'd never try and shoot multiple people underwater again from that other experience I had. And their album was called Let the Ocean Take Me, and it's all about basically getting back into the ocean and letting the ocean rebirth you in a way from all your problems and troubles.